Aren't you about tired of listening to sports shows with all the woke bullshit? So are we. This is Patriot Sports Radio.
Patriot Sports Radio.
Fed up with the national talking heads and biases of mainstream sports media. If it's sports, from the high school level to the pros, we're talking about it. Like the red-blooded Americans we are.
God bless America.
God bless America.
God bless America.
Let's do this. And now, here's Eric, Angela, John, Chris, and the coach.
Welcome back, my friends. If you're new, then welcome in Patriot Sports Radio. My name is Eric. I'm your host. We're here to recap some National Football League. Glad to have you with us. Feel free to join the conversation from wherever you are. Talking some football with Angela in her Vikings sweatshirt, and John brought the bandana. Chris is over there making sure the show works. Angela, are the Vikings good? I still hear people telling me they're not good. Angela's muted.
I am? I'm muted.
Not anymore.
We were all muted. They're so good. And it's pissing me off that people keep saying that they're not good. And yeah, they're the real deal. And
the issue is they're just not very good. I mean that's kind of the issue of it.
Are you shitting me right now? This is the cool thing about them though. They have weapons everywhere. Like there's not like some one trick pony anymore. There's like not all heavy on Jefferson necessarily, right? They can spread the love around, which adds the element of surprise. Like that's kind of what's changed from the beginning of the season until now. And Hawkinson, like our little golden goose, I don't know.
He's mine too on my fantasy.
Woo, see, aren't you so happy?
35 points.
Good.
Number 2 overall tight end.
Pissed, and I'm starting to take names. Like I'm keeping
oh gosh,
all y'all who are not like on board and disrespecting my team because it's time.
Yes, another dominant win capped off with a franchise record last second field goal.
It's not just your team; it's like our hated team. So it all works together.
God. Yeah, we broke 2 or 3 records this last weekend again. Just saying, like whatever. I mean, whatever. You don't have to acknowledge anything.
Explain those records.
So did the Patriots when they lost the Super Bowl.
That's kind of a
so
big
did I when I clogged the toilet 3 minutes ago.
One, we're not. Oh my God.
I'm not writing home
One
about
record
it.
we don't have to talk about, but the other ones, I mean, I don't know. Okay, it's all Justin Jefferson related, but still, I don't know. How can you deny how good
he's a superstar? Justin Jefferson is a superstar.
He is, but he's not the meat. If you saw what was going on in this last game, especially, everything was.
I watched it.
It was well distributed. I mean, Cook was all over the place. Hawkinson showed up. Thielen kind of shit the bed a little bit on a couple of plays, but it was very obvious that like they have plays and they have like plans intact and we're following the plan. And when everything goes according to plan, things work out. And when they deviate from the plan, stuff doesn't work out. So I think they just have to trust the process. But I'm telling you guys, get on this train.
Okay. Yeah. Hey,
ass kicked this week.
Hey, Eric, should we just all go buy Vikings gear?
Can't
Is that
do
what's going to happen up in here?
Can't do it. Guthrie, Oklahoma, checking in. Said
I will.
Skip.
Oh,
Yeah.
Skip Pops.
Woo-woo.
That's Dad. Dad's a Packers fan too, not a Vikings fan.
Heather, good evening.
Hey, Heather.
Well, that'll be familiar. That's
So
the man.
I can say though, during Roger's little interview after the game, again, this was like 2 weeks in a row, where I don't know if he was like over microdosed on his mushrooms or if he was just really. Did you see him? He was all plotty and schemy and like had this weird, smug, crazy look in his eye.
Like a guy who's seen the future.
I know.
Maybe he's psychedelic himself into being able to see the future, and he knows some stuff.
He scares me. He scares me. I'm just saying.
Packers will beat the Vikings. That's right. Heavy Steps knows. That dude's a future teller.
Step off, bro.
I think
What's up, Will?
Packers are laying 3 points in that game against
We're
How'd that work
giving
out
you
last
Minnesota
points.
Vikings.
No.
Meanwhile, the Buccaneers, that's terrible. I don't know why I thought they could score more than 20 points. They haven't done it in about 3 months, but I really thought they would be able to take care of the Arizona Cardinals. 19-16, they just barely get it done in Arizona. Yikes. What did Tom Brady do? Tom Brady was 32 of 48. 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. These are the numbers of a guy who stayed too long.
Yeah.
This is 1 year too many for him.
What if Gronk comes back next year? No. Well, where are they going to do that thing? Or is that just a big tease?
Yep.
I mean, there's another person that probably doesn't have much left in the tank. As much as you hate to say it. I don't
Yeah.
know.
He's only like 30, but he's got 157,000 miles on the odometer.
Yeah.
Like Gronk has high mileage.
Gosh, this
What's
was
up,
a rough
Will?
game to watch.
He's working on an extended warranty there.
Yep.
Talking
Good
about
evening,
Gronk
Will.
and, Gronk and Brady.
Hey,
Yeah.
Will.
There's Will.
Yeah. God, he just comes out of the woodwork.
Yeah, it's like
Huh?
it's like
Tom
saying
Brady, Tom
Beetlejuice.
Brady?
It's like we said Beetlejuice 3 times, and here comes Will saying he's
Brady.
not too old.
Brady.
Boy, that's getting tough to watch. And
It's
they're going to
hard.
win that division, right? Unless Carolina, if Carolina wins out,
Oh my gosh.
I mean,
Oh, Jesus.
has any
Yeah,
team who's
Carolina
fired its
gonna win
coach
out.
ever won a division?
Oh,
Oh
my
my
God.
oh, that
God.
comes down to this week. They play this week. The Bucks have the Panthers and then the Falcons, so that'll tell the whole tale. Do you think they're going to keep the coach that they have down there in Carolina, Steve Wilkes?
I don't know. If he makes the playoffs, can you really?
Boys are playing for him.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. This is a real headline that I just read on ESPN. Panthers signed Josh Norman with
Oh, geez.
JC Horn hurt. That's rough. That's a sign your franchise is in trouble. That's like bringing in Sammy Watkins. That's a sign of the end.
What do you think about that Rodgers witchcraft that's fixing to happen?
I think he's going to do some kind of end of the season shit that he does. He'll come limping out of the tunnel. 4th and flex is near. How you guys doing?
Hey.
I think similar to that game
He
against
said,
the
I
Lions.
heard, he said, I heard Brady. Bandy is a huge Brady fan. Him and Will. They're both. Those are that's their
His
guy.
ears perked up like a Doberman.
Yes. Wilkes will be kept. He is getting the most out of
Yeah.
those guys. Heavy Step says.
The boys love playing for him. They are playing really hard for Wilkes, and he runs the ball. The offensive linemen love that. Let them get in there and shove people around. Speaking of offensive line, I saw Aaron Rodgers mention that he thinks David Takatari is going to play this week. Evidently, he had
Really?
an appendectomy.
What?
Fucking one thing after another with this guy.
Oh my God.
You give him $90 million, and he comes down with every medical condition known to man.
Gosh, it's like with the fat kid at recess who doesn't, or fat kid in gym class who doesn't want to run the mile. He's got a new ailment every week.
My gallstones.
Oh,
I got strep throat.
strep throat.
That'll do it. That'll get you out of
Sprained wrist.
Yeah.
I think Aaron Rodgers might want to come back and play football next year. This Christian Watson kid
Mhm.
and the Dobbs kid, they're pretty good at playing wide receiver in the National Football League. I think next year they'll both be better.
Mhm.
Hmm.
And he'll think, I think we're on the hook for like 50 plus million. So why not? I always was thinking that he was going to retire after this year, but I'm starting to change my
I
mind
thought
on
he
that.
was gonna switch
Hey,
teams, but
Facebook user. You
what
think
a
so?
way.
People
No,
are saying
not
maybe
anymore.
the Jets. I don't know how movable he is.
I know. I agree. I thought for sure. I'm like, he's gonna tank the season and leave.
How
But
do you do that?
Ooh. Facebook user, if you click the link at Facebook, I believe up at the top of the video, then we can see who it is. I'm not sure who that is, but hey, how's it going?
The link at the top of the video. Okay.
Yep,
I don't
on
know any of this
Facebook.
technical
On
shit.
Facebook.
I can barely get my microphone working correctly. Do you think Aaron Rodgers is coming back next year, Christopher?
Yeah. There's how many $1 bills? Is
Oh,
there
like
ready
50
for?
million of them.
I mean, where else is he going to go? Is he going to
Play
retire?
17 football games? That's a pretty good deal.
I don't think
Yeah,
he's going to retire.
No, that's too much money. Would
Yeah.
you retire, John, or would you come back and play? Get that
Not
money?
if he can still play.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
that's a lot of money.
I hear the wolf.
world is a weird spot.
Back in my head.
Yeah.
Even.
John, before you go.
Well, I was just gonna say, like, these guys have like a career. Ours is big. Theirs is smaller. You got to make as much as you can, right?
Yeah.
Well,
Who
it
knows
is
what the
ego
hell's
for
about to
him.
happen.
Let's be honest. Like, it's probably a little ego too.
They
It's
would
about
say,
the money,
I'm-
but
if it was me, they'd say it was all ego, and trust me, in my head, it'd be all about the money, straight
Yep.
up. You got to make it while you can.
It's a lot of
This world is a
money.
weird- It's a lot of money.
It's a lot.
dollar bills,
It's a
yo.
lot of money. Hey, we love you too, Fourth and Flex. And they hit the like button. Boy, that's
Yeah,
my
they're
favorite.
YouTube good. They're good at YouTube. We're
They
not.
know how it works.
Yeah,
They know how it
they're
works.
Bandy's on a different level with YouTube.
John, before you got to get out of here, let's talk about Nathaniel Hackett. Get your can't hack it jokes off now
Yeah.
because he's probably never going to coach again in the National Football League.
Yeah, I don't see that happening. I think I called it after week 3. It was so abysmal at the beginning. It was before they even hired the guy who could just watch the clock, the old guy up in the tower.
Babysitter guy?
Yeah, the old guy with the binoculars looking. Yeah, I called it because I think I'm not the kind of person who says this guy needs to get fired after a couple bad games. But at the same time, if you know this is not an even close to an NFL product, you got to get rid of the guy. I'm not surprised he didn't last the whole year. The performance against Baker Mayfield was probably one of the worst performances I've seen out of a team that should have some wins under its belt. But what are they at? 4? So they're in Bears territory, and they paid heavily to be there. What was that? 2 first-round picks, 2 second-round picks, I think a 5th-round pick, 3 players, and then $165 million guaranteed. Was that the rundown I saw today for all of this? It's oh man, it's the Broncos fans are wearing a very itchy sweater for the next couple of years, unless somehow they can lure in Sean Payton and old Bears DC Vic Fangio. Now that's a long shot, but he might be able to fix some things.
Yeah, Peyton made it sound like him and Fangio are a package deal.
Yeah, and that doesn't surprise me. I don't know. I don't know if Vic Fangio even has social media to be able to see what Sean Payton's saying. Maybe they're just old fishing buds and they talked about it over a couple beers, but that seems to be a good combination. Vic isn't a good head coach either. He went through the Denver carousel, but he's definitely a good defensive coordinator, and sometimes that's all you need to be.
Exactly. You know, sometimes it's the organization, sometimes it's the guy trying to become the head coach when you're one of the best coordinators. That doesn't mean you need to be one of the top half head coaches. You could just be an outstanding coordinator. But I mean, if you're 24 and you've called some plays around Sean McVay, you get a head coaching job now. What I mean, what do the Koch brother? But that's how you know they have money. It's pronounced Coke because that looks like cock when you read it, Koch. But if you're rich enough, everybody will just pronounce it a different way if you tell them to. What do they do now? They're on the hook for this dude, $105 million, I think, guaranteed next year. You got to find a new coach. I don't know what they're doing with the stadium. Didn't it just half burn down? I mean,
no, it was just a small contained fire, I guess. If you're referring to the Walmart owners, I mean, what do they care? Just clean house and bring in the right people. They're probably more apt to do that than other programs, but I mean, who do you go get? If you don't get a guy like Sean Payton, you're still rolling the dice on an unknown.
I wonder if Sean Payton even wants that job.
No, he doesn't.
Of the available jobs, I can't admit he'd come out of retirement to deal with Russell. That's another thing. You have a quarterback now who's a known weirdo. Like nobody wants to work with this guy. Mm-hmm. What head coach, aside from like the ghost of Bill Parcells, could walk in there and take over the locker room from this guy?
But is it like a chicken and the egg thing? Like, is it the coach or is it the quarterback? Like you could argue both. I'm just saying, like he did fine last year.
Well, it's not about. I don't think Hackett screwed up Russ Wilson. I don't think this isn't an Urban Meyer and Trevor Lawrence thing at all. I mean, Russ has been in the league for years, and he's had success. He shouldn't be prone to having a coach screw that up. He's missing wide open guys. He's making bad reads, and their offense is just god awful. He should be able to elevate them to wins based off the money that he's been given. Hackett, I mean, he's never going to get a head coaching job again, from what I can see. I think his failure, and I think the big travesty there is personality wise, he doesn't match up with Russell Wilson. I think he's too passive being a new coach. He just wants to be the guy who famously just likes to hug people. And I think you need a badass, hard ass type personality to get in there and say, shut the hell up, Russ. What do you stop doing high knees on the plane? You're freaking everybody out.
Yeah.
Like, someone needs to put him in place. And if there's not another alpha there to say, shut up and throw the damn ball, I think you see what you've gotten out of Denver.
Contrary to popular belief, it's not Russell Wilson time. Just sit down and stop. Saw him on the sidelines talking into a football like it was a microphone.
He needs a Mike Vrabel to say, what the hell are you doing?
Yeah, get it together, guy. Like you say, he's missing wide open guys, making bad reads. Cortland Sutton was throwing his arms up, having a fit before the ball was even picked off. This week, he already just threw the bad ball, and Cortland Sutton was like, fuck. He was wide open with a running lane in front of him, and Russ is like, nah, it's Russell Wilson time. And fucking throws like Sutton was walking off the field before the guy even picked it off. It's rough. It's rough.
It's so true, though.
That's what I was gonna say. It's only funny because it's totally true.
We watched it. We watched it
up until
we watched Geno Smith absolutely destroy it up in Seattle to start the year. But
right,
yeah, I digress.
Up until a couple weeks ago, he was calling Seahawks audibles still, like calling out players from Seattle that these guys had no idea what he was talking about.
Yeah, and their defense is good, and it's given up, which is a real shame.
I mean, a historically good defense just said, that's enough. We're done trying. We're going to plan our vacation.
51-14 to Baker Mayfield.
Wow.
And this Rams team is a fireable offense among many that Hackett had this year.
Yeah.
Baker couldn't even do that against Kansas. They were
right?
really bad.
Against Charlie Weiss's Kansas?
Yeah.
Is he there then?
No, it was, oh my gosh.
What is it about Kansas and giant coaches?
That was the, yeah. Who was the, gosh darn it. Who'd they get out of LSU that came from LSU? He was actually at Oklahoma State, and his name, I can picture him. I just can't remember his name. Help me out in the chat if you know what I'm talking about. I'm
not going to come up with a college coach. If you own the Chargers, would you fire Staley for Payton? I would, just based on the yoga he was doing before the game in front of everybody yesterday. I guess you can get away with that in Los Angeles.
And that's the front runner, right? I mean, what does Sean Payton want? A high-powered offense with a young quarterback who's cost-controlled.
Yeah.
That's a recipe for success. He's going to step right in and take them deep into the playoffs next year if he gets hired.
Oh, it was Les Miles. That's who I was thinking of.
Oh, gosh, that guy?
Les Miles.
Yeah. But he didn't hang 54 on him.
Yeah, boy, the Chargers would be a great turnkey operation for a guy like Sean Payton. Mm-hmm. Negotiate a little extra money so you can pay that 80% income tax or whatever they got out there.
Probably.
Staley's not exactly crushing it and winning confidence. They're in the playoffs. Herbert's first time locked into the playoffs. It is 4-year career. So now we got the Bills are in, the Chiefs are in, the Bengals are in. The Ravens have clinched a playoff spot, and the Chargers have clinched a playoff spot.
Didn't the Packers just clinch one?
Oh, this is the AFC. No, the Packers still need to win a couple more games and get.
I know that's clinched, right? That's just the Vikings and Lions or something.
As far as
we're clinched, baby.
Yeah.
We're in it.
In Aaron Rodgers terms, it's basically a done deal. Yeah.
Oh my God. I think I
We'll
just
see.
threw up in my mouth.
The Jaguars and Titans are tied for the AFC South, and regardless of what happens this week, the winner of the Titans-Chargers game next week will win the division. It doesn't matter if the Titans win and the Jaguars lose, or if they both win or whatever. It will come down to that Week 18 game. So I think they're going to sit Derrick Henry, it sounds like. Both teams are basically going to treat it like a preseason game. And then next week, one of the two will get in with a 9-8 record, possibly.
Good for the Jags. Good for the Jags.
I think, does Doug Peterson win Coach of the Year if he sneaks into the playoffs?
Ooh. He deserves it. I mean, good grief.
Hey, Facebook user?
Well, McDaniel's out. He's not going to win it now.
Is Daboll's out?
Daboll's
He's not
out.
getting in the playoffs.
I mean, they were talking about Pete Carroll for a couple
Yep.
minutes there, but I don't think that's Coach of the Year. Yeah, I think he could be.
Salah's probably not
Really?
quite there.
I mean, obviously,
What about-
Sirianni.
What about that Mick in Minnesota?
Kevin O'Connell, who
Yeah,
won the
I
Super
can-
Bowl last year? That guy?
I'm over 50%.
Come
I can
on.
say.
Not him.
He's being very he's very much an afterthought in the Coach of the Year
Yeah, no shit. man.
conversation. And that is kind of bullshit, because you can say what you want about the players and getting lucky and 11 one-score games, and they're 11-0 in those games, which is pretty ridiculous. But I mean, a coach to be down 33-0 at halftime and win that game, that has to catapult you into the Coach of the Year conversation.
That's
They've
true.
won all of those games, though. They've come back in
Yeah.
all of those games. It's not just that one game. Like, that's all coaching.
Yeah,
I mean,
there's consistent
still-
competence on the sideline if you're winning 11 one-score games in a row. There's somebody making differences there. I think
Yeah,
it's the
you think?
it's the O'Connell guy.
I'm going to
Could
pull
be.
my hair out. I'm pulling my hair out. I'm seething over here.
I think it's his Irish heritage. Well, it'd be inconvenient because I don't have any wagers on Kevin O'Connell like I do Doug Peterson.
Shame on you.
Yep, that's my fault. That's my.
Mm.
Oh, hey, by the way, I think Tua has another concussion. He
Oh my
reported
God.
symptoms today. I saw a replay of him hitting the turf, and it looked like he did snap his head into the ground. Does this guy get a concussion every other week? And
He was throwing to not anyone on his team towards after that happened. And I thought it was obvious. I'm like, are you shitting me right now? That's not how he plays.
Yeah, 3 interceptions.
It was so bad.
and they were bad, like complete overthrows to a guy who maybe wasn't really there.
Oh
or
my
Tyreek
God.
Hill, who's 5'5".
Yeah.
Right.
That was a
Yeah.
bad
Yeah.
one.
I'm not sure when he took that hit. I saw it on the news actually before I came over here. It was on the Channel 6 news. They were talking about Tua's concussion situation.
I
And
saw
this
it.
would be 3 now. This
Yeah.
year it would be 3 confirmed if this was one.
For Pete's
And the
sake,
second one was
those are
a
retiring
nightmare.
numbers.
I know. Like, is there a point where somebody steps in and says you're done? Like, how does that
Yeah.
work? I'm so sad for him because I don't know. When it happened, I was like, oh, is that it? Like, that's the one. It was bad. I mean, it's
Did you
bad.
notice it in the game when it happened this
I
week?
did. Well, you're always watching for it for him.
Was
you know
it-
what I mean?
Was it
No.
early in the
We're-
game
we're
or like
all
after
the,
halftime?
We're all the mothers in the stands now.
Right.
Who's been scorned? Oh
Yeah.
no!
Get him like that
That's my
Devontae
boy.
Parker one a couple weeks ago. I
Yeah.
was screaming at my TV, "Get him off the field!" He was standing there
Yeah.
looking drunk, and finally, I think they challenged a play or
Bad.
something, but the refs didn't stop it because they saw him wobbling.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
you know he's just gonna want to keep playing. Like, he's not gonna be like, oh yeah, for my own safety, I have to stop. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, he's going to want to keep playing no matter what once
Yeah,
he
he's-
clears protocol. But
There's
there
no
has,
Andrew Luck.
yeah, but there has to be like who's gonna step in and say he can't. Is that
Yeah.
possible? How does that work?
Heather
I
says that is 3 this season.
Yeah.
I feel like that should have already been done. Yeah, I mean, what's the liability? At what point is it on you, the league, or you, the coaching staff, for even putting him at risk anymore in a
Right.
certain, I don't know, calendar year period or whatever?
Mhm.
But I think the overreaction and the, we're going to keep him out an extra game to be safe, and we're really going to watch this and stuff. As somebody who works in a factory environment, who, like, if you go 90 days without an accident, you get pizza, or you get your birthday off paid. There's all kinds of incentives to be safe, right? But all these same incentives that are encouraging you to be safe also encourage you to hide an injury if there is one, because you stand to lose something. And these guys probably are going to think, God, I don't want to miss 2 games over this. Like, it might not be a concussion. I'm a little dizzy. Or I know it's a concussion and I'm just outright hiding it from my coach because I don't want to miss. Like, we got Patriots next week. I can't fuck around.
The NFL is ultra competitive. I mean, these guys are the
Right.
alphas. Yeah. The alphas.
Asking them to self-report anything is asking a lot.
Right. It's their career. It's not just a game. It's like long-term. So if we're talking about somebody like Tua, you get clocked, you get your clock cleaned like 3 times, whatever, or 2 this past 2, like people are watching for it. Like, and at some point, somebody's going to call it and say, you're done. Like, we're not going to employ you anymore because of liability reasons. So yeah, they would want to not report it so they could keep playing, because that's their life. Like, what is he going to do after that? I mean, sure, he'd figure it out. Sell insurance? I don't know. But I'm just saying, like, that's not what they want.
God, this kid just falls in such a way that he hits his head on the ground every time he gets tackled.
I know.
JJ just retired today.
Yep. I got some
from a concussion
statistics about JJ Watt. Do you think JJ Watt is the greatest defensive player of our generation? Or is Aaron Donald arguably the greatest defensive player of our generation?
Ray?
Injuries are the only reason I think it's a question. If he hadn't been hurt,
I can name some pretty good defensive players. That Ray guy out of Baltimore, he was pretty good. Lawrence Taylor was pretty good.
Lawrence Taylor, Aaron Donald, JJ Watt are the only
big hair
who
from the Steelers. Ed Reed, Palomalo, Jared Allen from the Vikings was a monster.
Yeah, he was awesome.
Dude from the Urlacher.
Oh yeah,
Urlacher's pretty good.
Clay Matthews.
He's awesome.
10 seasons played, 8 All-Pro selections, most pressures in the season ever. In 2010, he had 119 pressures. Anything in the low 90s is really good. Like, high 90s is Hall of Fame stuff. 119 is unheard of. He's the only player ever to record multiple 20-sack seasons. In 2012, he led the league in sacks, tackles for a loss on run plays, and batted passes, which shouldn't even be possible, because that says that you're rushing off the edge and getting sacks, but you're also stuffing the run more than anyone else in the league and batting down more passes than anybody else. That his 2012 season is really crazy stuff. Nobody was happy when he was drafted to Houston. I took a screenshot of some replies to the Texans. It looks like their Facebook post about drafting him.
What did they say?
It's a bunch of people saying, why, what, boo, a lot of boo, a lot of people just leaning on the boo. Not a good decision. That one had 5 likes. About time they have someone match up with Williams. Oh yeah, they have Mario Williams back then. This one, Roy Michael Belly, he was positive. Everybody else, boo, not a wise pick.
That's so funny. So funny. Eat your words, bro.
Some website called Beyond the Box Score, a man named Chris Baldwin wrote an article entitled "Texans Will Rue the Night They Took Pizza Boy J.J. Watt Over Nick Fairley, Houston Lover." Fairley landed with the Detroit Lions, where he'll collect Pro Bowl berths for years to come. The Texans took a former Pizza Hut delivery man instead. That's how he described young J.J. Watt.
Oh my God.
Straight out of Pewaukee, Wisconsin.
Badass. He's a badass. He's the kind of like you wish you could clone him and have a million of him in the league, because not only is he a badass and he's like a force, but like he's a great guy. Oh,
you know what?
You hate to see him leave.
I bet we could get retired J.J. Watt on Patriot Sports Radio. I bet we
Oh,
could.
yeah.
Absolutely.
He's going to be right up here in Pewaukee. Hey, I figured out who the high is, I believe. That's my mother. What's up, Mama?
Oh, yay.
What's up, Mom? All right. Hey,
And the
that's a
hay
fun surprise.
is my
Hey.
oldest daughter, Callie Rose. What's up, Callie Rose?
Oh, okay.
Nice.
Yeah, you can tell she's young because it's all lowercase and you got 3 Y's. That's a hip.
Yeah.
That's a hip, cool person right there.
She's hip. She's so hip.
That's so cool. It's a family affair.
It is.
Yeah,
So good.
absolutely. J.J. Watt, Vikings win on a last-second play.
Again.
I mean,
Hey, that's going to fall apart.
We
You
played all
can't
the
ride
hits.
that wave. That wave doesn't roll in the fucking playoffs.
Are you
I'm
kidding
going
me?
to scratch my way through every game.
That's not how this last game went. I'm just saying. This last game was a game. I'm just saying. Just saying.
It was.
I know. Were you a little impressed? Just a little? You're scared. That's what's going on right now. You're scared.
Scared of what?
Mm-hmm.
The Vikings?
Nah.
So I would love to say what a
Over.
badasses my team is, but like when I see my quarterback get stepped on by his own O-line right before he's above the throw, it's like it's the most Three Stooges shit ever. So it's like really hard for me to like puff up my chest and like talk the talk because I don't know.
Does
But-
Kirk Cousins lead the NFL all time in being stepped on by an offensive lineman? And
I bet he does. We should look. It's like 3 times. It was like 3 times in one game, and it was 2 times the time before that. And like, what the fuck does he say to us? Be like, "It's okay, buddy," because that's how he is. Like, "Oh, it's all right, buddy. Just like watch out for me, buddy." Or like, he never is like in somebody's face ever. He's like the ultimate nice guy. So they can move past that shit and you know. And win, as opposed to getting bitched at where you're having like a chip on your shoulder. So that's a positive. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think he got stepped on last game. So see, we're moving in the right direction. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
1% better every day.
Exactly. A little better today than yesterday. That's the
Yeah.
goal. You know, I was hoping to come up with a good corn pop candidate throughout on our journey of football discussion this evening, but I did not.
Maybe it's just
No.
JJ Watt for the rest of the year.
Yeah. I
Did
think we
you
can give it
guys
to
see-
JJ.
Yeah,
Did
a
you-
lifetime achievement award.
Did you guys actually see the footage from that hit? Like I know we talked about it in the chat.
Oh yeah,
Did you
let's hit
see
that right away.
from Derwin James. Like, what a dick. Just saying. He didn't get a fine either.
Oh, they must have deemed it was within the letter of the law then.
Oh my god. He lowered his
No.
head and everything,
It
and he's a
happened so
repeat
fast.
offender. I'm such a mom.
It's what, like a half a second from the time you're
Yeah.
both running full speed.
Yeah,
They
it's
slow
tough.
down the video and you're like, oh wow, why didn't he?
It's tough.
It's happened so fast.
And then we slow it down on TV and we bitch about it. Like these
Right.
guys are going 100 miles an hour, jacked up on testosterone and weed
Yeah.
and hooker spit. Who knows? I don't know. But they're just getting after it.
Heather wants to know if we have NFC, AFC champion predictions. It's never too early for that. It's not even too early to do next year's, but we'll just do this year.
Eric's already putting futures in for 2023.
Right?
I think the Cincinnati Bengals will be a very surprising team in the playoffs. I think they'll get pretty far. They've just been hitting on all cylinders.
I think it's going to be hard to get the Niners out.
I'm
knock
very
them out
worried
the
about them.
NFC. They're really good. That's a really good, built for the playoffs type of team.
Yeah. If the
Yeah,
Packers were a
that's
team that I thought was formidable and could actually win a Super Bowl, I'd be very concerned about the San Francisco 49ers for sure, because they're doing that just defense and run game thing. They got fucking Brock Purdy back there. Did you see that play where he pretended to hand it off and he spun around and threw it?
I was fooled. He fooled
He's
me.
actually good.
He's like, what?
Yes, he
It
is
was
good.
good.
And I've watched him in a lot of football games, a lot. But in
I
college,
wasn't expecting that from him.
I'll tell
I
you
really
that
wasn't.
it's not just that they're built like run and defense. They've got fucking Christian McCaffrey, and he looks like he's got new blood in him. He went and did the Tom Brady Germany trip.
Yeah,
And now look at this guy.
He's blood
Also,
doping.
you got Ayuk and you got Debo Samuel and you got other running backs behind him.
Yeah.
This is a formidable team.
Yeah.
And then you have a Bosa on the other side. You have a Bosa on the other
playing like
side.
a
You're gonna
defensive
give
player of the year. He's playing
Yeah.
awesome this year.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
gonna give some teams some problems.
Yeah.
Some other quarterbacks some problems.
They're scary good. It's true.
You can't block that guy.
No, it's
The NFC I mean, the Eagles, while Jalen Hurts is a little injured now, so the NFC doesn't have this big dominant team. Would that be wild? A Cincinnati, San Francisco. Good luck getting people pumped for Bengals 49ers.
I mean, Brock Purdy. that's
We're
hard
in the
to sell.
business. We're in the business of hoping for good matchups now because it's something we'll have to talk about for 2 weeks.
I want to see the Bills. Number one, I'd love to
That'd
see
be
the
fun.
Bills come out of the AFC. I really like Jared Allen. He's a cool cat.
Yeah.
And out of the NFC for fun, I don't know, the Packers, huh? Bills Packers?
I'm
Bills,
so
Packers.
I'm all about my team. I'm just saying, I'm all in. I'm all
You
in.
can come
I
over
mean,
and
why
watch it.
not? They've been
You can wear them all year long.
all the charm shit has been happening for them. Why would it stop now? It's
know.
been going on for
Because
over
It
the
has
Vikings-
to eventually. They can't. I mean, I hope they lose one of these next ones. I don't know which one. Maybe. I mean,
Are they
all about
in
the playoff.
already? Are they in?
yeah, we're hoping for a second seed of some kind, but we'll see.
Yep, division locked up for the Minnesota Vikings.
Is your bet locked up with Cardinals last place?
That's looking pretty good. I
It's
think the
looking real good.
Cardinals, now that the Rams beat Denver and then the Cardinals lost to Tampa, I think
Is it a winning combination?
Arizona is now
See,
officially a full game behind the Rams. I think I also have the Browns to finish last, which Pittsburgh is making a push. I think the
Uh-oh.
Browns might be in. Didn't they just lose to the Saints? And Pittsburgh won?
Yes.
Shit, man, the Browns might.
You
I
might
can't
catch
pick
2
a division
tickets.
winner, but I can pick the
I have
last place.
so
team.
much to learn. I have so much to learn. Like, it's not about who's gonna win. It's about who's maybe gonna
You can
lose. Or,
also
Gonna
bet on
lose.
failure.
you know, I'm like, I have so much to learn.
It doesn't have to be success.
No.
Just pick
Heavy Step says the Bengals are winning the Super Bowl. And you know what? It's hard to argue that. Because if it
No.
is the Niners and the Bengals have been there.
And
Brock,
once
that might get big for Brock Purdy. That's where you might see Brock Purdy falter a little bit. Because that's a lot. There's a lot going on there.
yeah. And
Oh,
once
right.
the
Like
tournament
nerves
starts, like,
alone.
it's just whoever can win 2 or 3 games. That's it. Like, you just need to win 2, 3 games in a row. Like anything could happen in that
They got
situation.
weapons in Cincinnati, too.
Yeah. Chase seems to be healthy once again. They have arguably the best wide receivers.
We're taking the Cowboys Thursday night, he says, against the Titans. What's the
Let's-
lineup?
Oh yeah, the Titans aren't going to care.
Mike
Bengals are
McCarthy-
8-1 right now to win the Super Bowl. I don't hate that.
Hmm.
Plus
Mike McCarthy's
330.
a highly successful coach. That's why.
Wow.
Who is?
Mike McCarthy. Do you remember when he
Yeah.
said he was a Packer and when he was coaching the Packers? I'm like, bro, you're such an ass.
Well, let's face facts. I'm a highly successful football coach.
I know.
I could run his playbook. Like Eric could call that whole game.
Right.
Like-
Exactly.
For real. That's how bad it was. If we could call it, I guarantee you Belichick can call it.
Yep. Oh, wow. The San Francisco 49ers with Brock Purdy at the helm are the second favorite to win the NFC.
Wow.
Ahead of the Cowboys and the Vikings and the Buccaneers. Wow, the Buccaneers squeak their way into the top 5. The NFC is truly weak this year. Yikes. I wonder if you reseeded all 32 teams and just put the 16 best teams in, how many NFC teams there would be? Probably only like 4. I don't know. Let's do corn pop and get the heck out of here, huh?
Sure.
Oh, I
just wanna
I
hear
got
the corn
some for
pop
that.
stuff.
What?
We know it's JJ Watt, but we got to hear. We
You need the sound bite.
Yeah. It's not a
Did
week
you
out
guys
live.
hear it?
No.
Nope.
Use the force.
Keep going. Keep talking.
We're manifesting it. That's what we're doing. Isn't that a thing? We'll put it on a vision board. Have you ever had a vision board, Angela?
Yes.
Did you watch
As a
The
matter of
Secret?
fact. No.
I've heard about The Secret. I've never watched it. I've heard it's You say
You're
things.
in on a secret. It's not much of a secret. It's just
Yeah, if there's a movie about it, how big of a secret could it possibly be?
right.
You know what I mean?
Right. There's ways to get shit done, and that's just the shit you got to do. And if you put it on a board, then you're reminding yourself. Or if you're visual like me, I have to have pictures to get something implanted in my head. So that's what that is.
I put shit on a Post-it note and then I cross it off.
See,
So I
Heather
do
does vision boards. That's right, sister chick, and that shit comes true usually, right? Make it real.
Manifestations,
That's right.
positive thinking, the power of positive.
The power of
vibration.
putting
Yeah, I
your boots
got
on and going to
crazy
work.
shit
That's
would
where it
happen,
gets
I bet.
done. You got to put your boots on and go to work. It's not a vision
Yep.
board.
Yep.
It's a boot
No, well,
board.
no shit, but that's where it starts. It's all about action for sure. But
Put some work boots on the vision
about-
board.
Yeah, it starts when you get out of bed in the morning. Put your boots on.
that's right. You're damn right. Yep. You're right.
Packers are 22-1 to win the NFC. I'm almost crazy enough to do that, but not quite. What are their Super Bowl odds? I
Don't
wonder?
do it. The Vikings are going to beat them. I'm just giving Angela
50
shit.
to
That's
1.
funny.
Well, that'd be a fun ride.
I don't think
That'd
they
be a
can beat
fun
the Vikings.
ride.
Chris, like seeing steam come out of my ears.
Yeah, I'm just giving Angela shit. I don't think they can actually win that game. The Vikings are good. Like they have all of it. They have like the
I'm sorry.
quarterback.
What was that? What?
They
Can you
got
say
the
that again?
quarterback.
Isn't it in
I
Green
mean,
Bay?
I don't know how you're gonna.
It is
I
in
mean, how
Green
do you-
Bay, and it's going to be kind of cold. So I'm.
It doesn't
slightly
matter. It's
worried,
the
but
Vikings. They're used to that shit. I know they play in a dome, but they're out in it. They live in Minnesota.
yeah.
Yep. TJ Hawkinson, I'm pretty sure, has become a real actual Viking. I think he lives outside.
That dude's different now. All of a sudden, God, darn it.
Yeah. He was this clean cut Iowa kid, and now he's an actual Viking.
I love TJ Hawkinson.
That was a pretty good acquisition. Pretty
Oh my
crazy. that
gosh,
the
he's so
Vision team
amazing.
did that.
He's so amazing, and everybody just lifts him right up, which is exactly what he needed. So good,
Yep.
so good.
Like, hey, division team,
corn
we have
pop-
to play twice. Here's our best player. Would you like to exchange picks?
I know, what the frick were they thinking? They must be just like every day. They must wake up and be like, "Son of a bitch, why did we do that?"
Yeah, it's not like they didn't know the guy was good at football.
I
That
know.
had been established in the first couple seasons.
So dumb. Whatever.
Yep.
Whatever. Are we corn popping?
The kids are being difficult, as they sometimes are.
All right, see if you can hear it now.
Okay. No.
No.
Might not happen this week. I'm gonna have to figure it. Something
Oh,
happened here.
fuck.
So we'll hit it twice next week.
Or 3 times because we
Yep.
love
Double, triple corn pops. I'll bring 3 or 4. We'll do corn pops, plurals.
I think it should be JJ Watt anyways because
Yep,
who doesn't love him? He's so
exactly.
so great. Hometown boy.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. We truly do appreciate it. Thank you, Heather. Heavy Steps, Mom and Dad, Callie, Will, everybody who stopped by to hang out with us. We love that so much. Head over to patriotsportsnow.com and find all of our shows, many podcasts, blogs, forums, etc. And it's Saturday and Sunday mornings at 7:30. Still doing that. We'll figure out all the weather, wagers, figure out what's going to happen to beat our friends in these websites. Until next time, be good to each other. Chris, kick the outro music. Heather put boots in her vision board. Love it.
You've been listening to Patriot Sports Radio. If you're sick of all the national talking heads and biases of mainstream sports media, like we are, this show is for you. We hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to like, rate, and review. And we'll be back soon. For more content and merch, hit up www.patriotsportsnow.com. Find us on Twitter at PatriotsPod, on Instagram and Facebook at Patriot Sports Now, and on Getter, Rumble, and YouTube at Patriot Sports. Take care, and we'll see you next time.